Hey there folks. So I'm going to show you what all is involved with building a set of these valve covers. I had a couple of people comment on the simplicity of them and the price that I have them listed for. So I want to show everyone what is involved in making a set of these. Not really to justify what I'm charging, but to kind of overly explain it. And then if you want to build a set yourself, I can send you the letters, or I can just teach you how to do it. So I'll run through the process of actually building the set, and then if you want, I'll throw a video up on how I actually design the set in CAD, and then how I go ahead getting them laser cut to assemble them. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the process. So initially what I do is I actually take, I have a template. So I got a new GMC logo that I'm going to be making for some folks that requested it. And I have the Pontiac logo that I have to send to a fella in the UK. And then I've got a whole bunch of letters. What are those? Those are the Pontiac letters. I got some G's here for the GMC logo. I got the M's for the GMC. And the C's. And then on top of that I have retainer plates. They basically just hold the logo or the letters down into the logo while I weld them. So in order to do that, let's move my candy out of the way. I've got some 60 grit, 100 grit, and 150 grit sandpaper just to clean any of the slag off of this steel after it's laser cut. There's just a ever so small amount, just like this guy here. You'll see that. There's a little bit of slag on the letter. So I just need to clean these letters up before I go ahead and apply them to the valve covers. So stick around if you're interested. Please subscribe and like the video or dislike the video. I don't care what you want to do. Make a comment on it, something else that you might want to see, or any other logo ideas that you might want to see me make. I appreciate the support. Stick around. Alright, so I've got all the letters cleaned up. I got the stencil cleaned up. The retainer plate is not as important. It literally just holds the letters down. I'm going to move on to the GMC logo. I'll get all the logos cleaned up and then I'll start building some valve covers. Fun part. Hey folks, so I'm just going to clean up these GMC logos here for you. I've already cleaned up all the Pontiac logo that I'm going to be building here next. But I wanted to run down what it takes to actually make one of these GMC logos for the set of valve covers. So I'll just blast through this really quick. So I've got I already kind of talked through the initial portion of it. I've got the retainer plate that I just kind of clean up. Originally I was going to go with just some hand sandpaper, but since I'm in my shop right now, I have access to my air compressor, so I'm actually just using a roll-lock disc with some Scotch-Brite, just some brown Scotch-Brite. So I don't know what grit this is. It's not very coarse. I'm unsure. I would have to look at the box. Yeah, let's blast through this real quick. Well, not real quick, but you get the point. So now that I've got the letters all cleaned up, I've got the valve cover, well the first of the valve covers, mounted on my jig. So here, I'll just show you this real quick. Let's make sure this drill bit is all the way up. So I've got a jig made for my mill. Drop these letters. Okay. Then I got these little locking nuts down here. So I've cleaned up the top just to make sure there's no rust or anything like that underneath where the letters are gonna sit. This letter, or this valve cover is done the same. So cleaned up the top of it as well. This is the stencil that I use to fasten to the top of these. It sits like this, so I can locate it and figure out where all the letters are gonna be. And I have these, or this logo and these holes centered on this piece of steel in CAD when I cut it out. So if I center the square portion of the kind of the frame with the valve cover, then I know the logo is centered. Once in a while I have to get a little bit finicky because none of these valve covers are exactly the same. So you really have to make sure the side of this logo sits right on these ridges nice. So once in a while you kind of got to finesse it and make sure it fits perfectly. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'm gonna start on this set of valve covers. All right, I gotta show you that because that was like a total fluke. When I centered this, and I'm gonna try a new technique actually. So those bolt holes that I have on the stencil, same thing as the retainer plate, this guy here. I made those pretty big this time, too big, almost twice as big. And if I try to weld a hole that's 8 millimeters, or I don't know what that equates to, like almost 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more than that. If I try to weld that, it's gonna be very, very visible. So what I would like to do is I'm thinking I can just hold this retainer or this stencil to the valve cover with these C-clamps. And then I'm gonna take one of these retainer plates that I had for my previous letters that I'm not really a fan of. And I'm gonna trim it down so that it sits between these C-clamps. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to avoid drilling any holes other than the ones that I'm using for spot welds, so that when you have a finished valve cover, it's literally just the letters. So that's my attempt. I think it's gonna look pretty good. This is the first time that I'm trying it, so we'll see. So nonetheless, I'm gonna show you this. This is a total fluke. So I measured this. So this is, and mind my poor measurement skills, this is 1 5/8 plus a 32nd. Okay, the same measurement on this other side is 1 5/8 plus a 32nd. Measuring the side distance, I have it at 7/8. Same thing over here. I have it at, it's hard to see because my hand's in the way, but 7/8. So just by fluke, I managed to fasten it down perfectly. Satisfying. Okay, moving on. Let's see if I can cut this or drill these holes in this. And well, first I'm gonna mark the valve cover so that when I replace this back onto the same spot for all these pilot holes, it's in the exact same place. That is very important. So let's go ahead and get that done. All right, I've got all the holes drilled. See all those? Now what I think I'm gonna do is, with this smaller drill bit, I was able to essentially drill the holes without creating an overly high amount of pressure on the valve cover. So I didn't really dent it, and there's not really much in the way of burrs. So I think I'm actually going to weld the first letter on before I remove the template, just so that when I put the template on, it goes back exactly where it was and I don't have to try to locate it. So we're gonna weld the T on first, and then yeah, and then we'll go from there. So let's try that. Get some stuff moved out of the way here first, like my fuel tank. Over here. We got our fuel pumps. Move this welding table out into a more usable spot. Okay. There. So I fabricated this table as well. If anyone's interested in getting the plans for that, let me know. Honestly, I'll just send you the plans for free. There's no way I'm gonna be able to ship that to you. If you wanna donate some cash to me, that'd be sweet. Again, you can just send the cash to my PayPal. But yeah, like I said, if you want the plans for the welding table, let me know. I'll just fire them off to you. Okay, like I said, let's weld that T on there. Actually, I have to take it off the jig. Oh, and it's a wee bit heavy with these C-clamps on here. All right, this retainer plate actually. Okay, I'm just gonna cut this one to length. Grab a Sharpie. Give you a better vantage point so you can see what I'm doing. It's pretty obvious what I'm doing, but actually I kind of want to, I may as well cut this hole off here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's actually measure this. It's not a quick process. Let's just say that. It is quite a bit more time consuming than a person would imagine. It's the setup and the assembly and the cleaning and the prep. It's just, there's a lot involved with making a set of these, and I don't know. You're more than welcome to buy the letters off me or learn how to make them and do it yourself, or you can just buy a set of valve covers off me and support a brother out. empty in there. And then now I need to clamp that. And I'm going to clamp that by going like this and setting it on there. There, it's working. That's good. Let's try to weld this. Just gonna push this whole assembly back. I'm using the Lincoln 210MP. It's fairly simple to use. MIG steel, I'm going to choose that. Argon, oxygen, or CO2, sorry. Size 30 wire. These are 22 gauge valve covers. I'm going to throw a little bit extra thickness on there though. And then we're going to throw a little bit higher voltage on there just to burn these in real good. I'm going to drop the wire speed down just a hair. There you go. Let's try that. There. And there we have it. I've got the first letter welded onto the valve cover. And it actually worked out well. I got pretty good heat soak on these ones. Like, I don't think it would have broken off. I could give her a little tap, just make sure it's a good weld and it's not going to break the letter off. But before I do that, I'm going to clean up the rest of these, weld on the rest of the letters, and then I'll test them and make sure none of them break off. Because that would suck if the customer had it and a letter broke off. That would be a pain in the ass for them, especially if it had already been painted. So I'm going to try to avoid that at all costs. So with my drill bit, I went in here and I just took off the burrs off the backside of these drill holes. Let's keep going. All right, folks, so I completed one of the valve covers. Now, I used a slightly different process to do this one.
which prevented me having to weld holes or fill holes here, here, and here. Like you'll see on the very first rendition of my, or version of my template, it had 3 holes on it. The second one, I thinned out the stencil so that when I had it laid on the letters, I used 1/16 so that when I held it down with the retainer plate, all the pressure from this retainer plate was pressing on just the letters and not the stencil. You can see that gap there. So now what that did though is it created pressure points. So it created slight pressure points from wherever the clamp was, and I ended up having to smooth out the steel on this one right here. You can see a little bit of the imperfections, and right here. So that sucked. So that ate up some time. And then my welder, the settings weren't appropriate for what I was trying to do here. So it actually put a light weld in the P and the A. So then when I gave him a little test tap, it broke the A off and it broke the P off. All the other letters held on, and you could actually see like the heat through or the heat soak on all the other letters except for those two. I don't know why. Could have just been me. So I changed the settings on my welder, and that gave me what I needed to get those to stick. So, 1 valve cover down and 1 more to go. I'm not going to bother recording the building of the second one because you see what it took to build this one. So I hope you can appreciate the effort that goes into making a set of these. It's not easy, it's not quick. Yeah, it might be cheap, but it's kind of that famous thing. You can have cheap, fast, or good. You can only pick 2. So this is only 2 of those. It's good, and it is fast, so it's not cheap, or whatever. Anyways, you get the point. So I'm going to show you the set of the other GMC valve covers that I made. So I recorded building these the other day, and I was unable to, I lost the video footage. So I'm just going to show you a set of those, just to give you an idea. So these are for the 47 to 54 GMC. And this is essentially what you're going to be getting from me when you order a set of valve covers. So that is the 47 to 54 GMC logo. I love it. I love this logo. It is sweet. It's one of my favorites. So, yeah. Let me know what you think. And if you want a set, let me know. Email me, call me, text me, message me. I don't care. Just let me know. And then we'll figure it out. And you can support me in my hot rodding adventure. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I've got Pontiac. I've got this first generation of GMC, and then I've got that second generation of GMC, and I haven't built a set of those yet. I do have a fella that has already paid for a deposit on these Pontiac ones, so I have to get those finished. And then I got to ship off another set of logos to, like I said, the UK, to a buddy out there. And then I will build a set of those GMC AD valve covers, and yeah, we'll see how they look. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please subscribe. Thanks.